how to determine the signs for the null and alternative hypotheses. There are two cases. The first case is the problem gives you a sign for H0 and the problem gives you a sign for HA. So you don't have to decide anything. And then case 2 is you have to make a decision. So suppose you have H0 and HA, right? So let's write this down. You have H0 and HA. So let's say the problem gives you a sign for H0, but after you finish reading the entire problem statement, there is no sign for HA. Then what do? For HA, then you pick the opposite, which is not equal. The other case is, let's say for HA, the problem gives you a sign. So let's say for HA, the sign is a greater than, and then there is no sign for H0. In that case, I will just take the opposite. The opposite of greater than is less than or equal to. So that is case 2. Case 2 is for the two hypotheses, you get a sign. You get one sign only. You don't have the sign for the other one. For the other one, all you have to do is you take the opposite sign. All right, so it is just that easy. And then one more thing, for H0, there is always an equal. So the sign for H0 is either a equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Even though you use the inequality, you still have to add an equal. So that is a rule for H0. And then for HA, there is no equal. So the sign is either a not equal, greater than, or less than. There is no equal. And then when you set up the H0 and HA, be sure to use population parameters. Let's say the mu and the p. So the mu is the population mean, and then the p is the population proportion. And do not use sample statistic like x bar and p hat, because let's say you want to find the average final exam score in my statistic class. So I have 40 students in my class. Do you need to conduct a hypothesis test? The answer is no. You want to find x bar? It is very easy. All you have to do is, I have 40 scores, you add them up and then divide it by 40, then there you go. That is the x bar. So you do not need to learn hypothesis test. Anyone with some basic math skills can do it. You don't need to take statistics at all. All right, so that's why for H0 and HA, use population parameters like mu and p. Do not use x bars and p hat. We don't need to carry out a whole test for the sample statistics. And then I have some examples of pairs of H0 and HA. So starting on the first row, so H0 mu is equals to mu naught. So what is mu naught? Mu naught is a proposed value. So it's a proposed mean, a value to be tested. So the problem says mu is equals to 40. So let's say mu is equals to 40 in H0. Then the 40 is a number that we are trying to test. You are trying to go against mu equals to 40 by saying HA, mu is not equal to 40. So the 40 is H0. You are trying to challenge this number. You are trying to test this number. So therefore, we call that mu naught. So if you look at the first row, what do you see from H0 and HA? So H0 and HA, they are the opposite, right? So for the first one, H0 is equal, HA is not equal. The second one, H0 is equal, HA is greater than. The third one, equal and less than. Do you see that there is no equal in HA? All right, and then in H0, I use all equal. And then in the yellow one, for the H0, this time I use inequality, and I also have an equal, so greater than or equal to mu naught, and then HA is a less than. They are the opposite. H0, mu is greater than or equal to, and then HA, mu is not equal to mu naught. So that is still correct. And then the third one, so H0, mu is less than or equal to versus greater than. So they are the opposite. Less than or equal to versus not equal, that is still okay. They are not really complete the opposite, because the opposite of less than is a greater than, right? But if you are in this case, H less than or equal to in H0 and not equal in HA, that is completely fine. As long as you don't put equal in HA, you will be okay. But also in H0, you have to use equal, even though you use inequality. And then for the signs, right? So the problems is like in an English statement, they don't just say we are trying to show that the mean is less than 40. They won't give you the sign less than in the problem statement, right? So they will write the words less than. So for the less than, greater than, not equal, and equal, so on and so forth, what kind of keywords do people usually use in a problem statement? So I have a dictionary for you. So for the equal sign, usually they use these kind of words. So they use equal, identical, no difference, the same. For not equal, they will use words like different from, different than, not equal, not the same, not identical. For less than, they might use less than, fewer than, smaller than. For greater than, they use greater than, more than, larger than, or bigger than. How about the at least and at most? Less than or equal to. Usually they don't say less than or equal to unless they want to make the problem super obvious. Right? For the less than or equal to, again, usually they don't use the words like, okay, mu, the true mean, is less than or equal to 100. They don't use less than or equal to because they don't want to make it so obvious. They usually use the words like at most. At most is the most popular one. We are trying to prove that the average life of some machine is less than or equal to 10 years. They don't use less than or equal to because they don't want to make that obvious. They will say we are trying to prove that the lifespan is at most 10 years. So at most is less than or equal to. Or to make it more complicated, they might call that no more than, because the opposite of more than is less than or equal to. And then the greater than or equal to, they will like to use the word at least. I want to prove that after taking my prep courses, students have at least 90% on the test. So greater than or equal to 90%. They won't say we want to prove that students get greater than or equal to 90 points. That is too obvious. They will use the words like at least and no less than. So this size, you better write this down. Alright, so that is the end of this video. If you think my instruction is helpful, give me a like, subscribe, and share the video for me. I appreciate for your help and support. See you all in the next one. Signing off for now.